Coming up next on Access Framingham TV is a special fan-to-fan episode where today we broaden the fan definition to include a community program that I'm a big fan of. Today it's the Salvation Army, where we'll hear from its local director, Major Kim DeLong, and she'll explain how this highly regarded, respected international program supports Framingham and Southborough through its local office located at 350 Union Avenue in downtown Framingham. Stay tuned. This will be informational and inspirational. It may make you want to march down to enlist as a volunteer for this unique army. Welcome to this special community-focused fan-to-fan episode focusing on the local Salvation Army. I'm Dave Hornfischer, a supporter and an advisory committee member of this highly respected community support program. My guest today is its local officer, Major Kim DeLong. In this episode, we'll talk briefly about the Salvation Army, starting with its international mission, then illustrating how the Salvation Army is helping people and families in need in Framingham and Southborough, and ways that you can be involved. Major Kim, welcome to Fan to Fan. I notice in your title that you're a major, and since the Salvation Army is an army, I guess it's logical that one of its officers would be called a major. So why don't you begin by explaining the title and telling us a little more about your own background and how you got yourself elevated to this.
The Salvation Army was started by William Booth in London, England, and he did it behind the military kind of theme. As he says, we were fighting a war of sin. Oh. And so that is, we became, at first we were the Christian mission, and he later changed us to the Salvation Army. And we have our ranks. We have a school we go to, and you start as a cadet, lieutenant. And I've been in the Salvation Army for 20 years, so I have graduated, so to speak, to major. And I have been part of the Salvation Army my entire life, as my parents were officers, and my mother was a teacher at the Salvation Army school, and then went on to the territorial headquarters in New York. So the Salvation Army has been in my blood, I would say, since
Where
birth.
did you grow up?
In the Salvation Army, you grow up everywhere.
Okay.
It is like the military. They transfer us around. I grew up in Ohio for a big portion of it, graduated high school in New York, and landed, I've been in Vermont, New Hampshire, and I've landed in Framingham, Massachusetts in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And you were in Massachusetts before that, right?
No, I have never. This was my first time in Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Serving in
okay.
Massachusetts. I was in Pennsylvania as well before.
Okay.
So, and I have a son who is a lieutenant in the Salvation Army, meaning he just started his work, and he's in Barre, Vermont. So.
Okay, wow, this is really very, is that typical to have a family that kind of connects like that?
There are quite a few, yes, but we do bring, we have some new ones who've come in just through going, volunteering, starting there, board members that have taken on the next step, looking for something in their life, more usually younger people that are just looking for something different.
Well, you touched briefly on the mission of the worldwide Salvation Army from its founding and its Christian connections and its view of helping people. Want to just talk on that a little more?
Yes, the mission of the Salvation Army is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human needs without discrimination. We are dedicated to improving the health, economic, and spiritual development and conditions of the poor throughout the world where the Salvation Army serves. We currently have, are worldwide, many countries, and I am currently in the United States. We currently have 4. We're broken into 4 territories, and I would be considered in the Eastern Territory.
Okay, and then within Massachusetts, there's
I'm in the Massachusetts division, and then there's also, you would look at northern New England's around us, Connecticut. They have their own, so to speak, headquarters, but we all work together. And
then even within Massachusetts, we're Framingham and Southborough, right?
Yes, so we are Framingham, Southborough. There's Salvation Armies in Lowell, Worcester.
Marlborough?
There's a service unit in Marlborough.
Okay.
Yeah. Worcester has the Adult Rehab Center, which is our alcohol and drug rehabilitation.
And one of the unique things that happened when we started to flip up a picture before of your son in the Rose Bowl band, which I think was in somewhat, it somewhat identifies the broad nature of the Salvation Army in the U.S.
Yes. During the Rose Bowl in January on New Year's, the 4 territories of the United States, and they do bring some over from other parts of the world, get together. They choose a couple of youth from the areas, and they get to go march in the Rose Bowl parade as part of the Salvation Army band. And they participate, they get together, they practice together, and so they meet other new friends, other people, other young people that have the same.
And your son got chosen for this.
Yes, and my son Jason did get chosen to be part of the Rose Bowl parade.
And this is the one that's going to become an officer then?
This is the one. I don't know what's going to happen. He is the youth. He is now the youth minister in Lowell, Massachusetts. So
that's great.
It has made an impact on him.
Well, let's talk about how this mission connects to Framingham and the Framingham branch and your operation on Union Avenue now, which is a fairly somewhat of a new place. We have you do a bunch of there's the building that was that was an office building for a long time, and you guys were downtown.
Yes, we were on the corner downtown. I was not here at that time. I came after their move, but yes, there was a big there was a thrift store attached to that as well. I believe a feeding program, and we've moved now down the street.
And so let's talk about some of the things that you're doing out there. You touched on the feeding program. I think that's probably the most active thing that happens on any one week, I would gather, right?
Yes.
And but you don't have you're not serving dinner there anymore.
No, we do not have a meal there anymore. We now have a pantry. We have a diaper bank as well as the food bank, and we do try to do some household dish detergent, laundry detergent as well. And what we do is we let the client come through and shop. It's called a choice pantry. Instead of us preparing a bag of what we think they would like, they get to come through and we just let them choose different items that they're going to use.
You have a freezer and a refrigerator, I see.
Yes,
here, so
we have meats, dry goods, as you can see the diapers in the pictures. We do have some shelf milk. We get eggs. And
the food comes from?
The food comes from some from private donations. The food bank of Boston, that we get a big portion of our food from there. And then we also do on Thursdays, we have a stop and shop pickup that they give us what they have had or needing to clear off their shelves. And that's a load we bring in on Thursday afternoons.
And you were telling me the number of people that are involved in stopping in to pick this food up.
Yes, on a given day, we see anywhere from 8 to 10 families. This
Monday
month,
through Friday?
Monday through Friday from 9 to 2. This month, I believe we did almost 300 total individuals.
So these are basically families, yeah.
Families, yeah, some seniors, yeah.
Did you coordinate in any way with any of the other food pantries in Framingham, or
No, we kind of all work individually, but we do refer, we try to refer people to others as well, so they're getting a full month. We usually do probably 10 days worth of meals, but we see clients once a month. Many are regular who need the extra.
So if you have 300 a week, is that really almost
300 a month?
300 a month, okay.
Yeah, a month.
Okay. And some of them go to other banks as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. If we're running short, we don't have something they may need, we do refer them as well.
And is there some kind of a standard a person has to apply to get this, or
show us a Framingham or Southborough address, have your ID, and we will, let you use our pantry.
Yeah, everyone's situation is a little different.
Yes. So we get into a little bit if they need help with SNAP or different programs that the state offers. We try to help them.
And you do have some other kinds of assistance programs too, right?
Yes, we have the Good Neighbor Energy Fund, which is a fund that helps with utilities. If you qualify for that, that's a state and Salvation Army funding program. We do have some rental and some utility income. It's not as much as we'd like, but there's a great need for that. But we are able to help minimally if someone's just running short.
I know last year we had hoped to get some extra money for that by having a runner in the marathon, and
Yes.
we've applied for that now twice a year, and haven't been able to get
Right,
lucky enough
'cause
to be chosen. But
that's what we've had decided as the board to earmark it
Right.
for that. So,
Yeah.
But I do have a little bit of funding. It's not as much as we'd like. And especially this winter, we've been a little bit better. We didn't have a freezing spell, but especially when we see those.
right. So you also have a youth program. I think it's called Bridging the Gap.
Bridging the Gap, that is run out of our office and by Steve, one of our employees, and he runs that with the courts, trying to help youth get back on their feet, give them some educational foundation, give them some skills, and so he's been working with them for many years. And he does a great job. We've had great success with that.
How does one apply to get involved in that?
A lot of that, it goes through the courts.
Oh, okay.
If
So the courts
someone
would send somebody.
Yeah, and if someone did come in and ask me questions, I would put them in touch with Steve so he could give them some more direction. He runs that program very well, and he's working on some more schooling for it.
Now with this new facility, and I keep calling it new. You've been on Union Avenue now, what, probably about 5 years, I think? Maybe?
I know it was,
Close to
I
that,
believe,
4 or
before
5
COVID.
years.
or
I'm
right
a
as
neighbor of
COVID.
it, so
Yes.
that's what got me involved.
Yes.
And I see people wandering in and out of there all the time, and you've got this lovely parking lot.
Yes.
So when people need to come, it's right at the corner of Arch Street and Union Avenue.
Yes, they can pull right in there, come right
It's right
to that
across the
door.
street from the smock office, I think, also, isn't it? Isn't their headquarters pretty much across the street?
Maybe.
But anyway, you have we have these little events in the parking lot occasionally.
Yes, this picture you're seeing now is our back to school program. We do applications with children for backpacks, and then we fill them. And parents, we usually do that in August. We'll start applications. Parents can come down and apply. We just ask again for ID and the students. If you have any information on the student, I know sometimes that's a little rougher to get, but we do try. And last year, I think we did over 150 backpacks.
Really, yeah.
For students, and so we had hot dogs, popcorn. We had a few games and things for them.
And so where does the support come from to pay for the backpacks?
Some of that is from donations. Some is from funding
stores
that I may have available to me. Some the stores donate, and then some churches have donated. We've had a good donation with some churches that supply some of the extra backpacks. Extra, So it's kind of a collaboration.
And then you've also had some other events there that have.
Yes, we've done some we call them Friday Night Fun. Where we open the parking lot, we put up games, we put up a bouncy house, we have served popcorn, soda, pizza, whatever we decide that week, and we just open it up to the community and just kind of mingle and let them get to know who we are and what we do, and let the kids just have a good time. And so we're working on. We haven't had one in a while, but we are working.
Yeah,
on
this isn't
another one.
every Friday, but
No, it has been a
couple
couple.
of
We
times
used
in
to
the
do
summer, maybe,
Yes,
yeah.
we're trying to do at least one this summer.
Well, but the
our
big
goal.
thing that you support in the summer is the summer camp, and
Yes.
we've got a little video of that coming up here. What's it? It's called
Camp Wonderland.
Camp Wonderland.
It's in Sharon, Massachusetts.
in Sharon, and that's a Salvation Army
Yes.
camp for the whole state.
Yes.
Mostly.
State of Massachusetts. It's a sleepover camp. Most sessions run 5 days. So
And Framingham Southborough has so many slots.
yes, we have 23 slots to 3 different sessions, 23 total. And one of those sessions, we do have some slots for teens, which so there's 1 week that teens can go, as well as then under. It's usually 6 to 12 for the other 2 weeks.
Ages 6 to 12.
Ages 6 to 12 for the 2 weeks, and then we have a teenage camp, which is 13 to
So what are the weeks? Is it in August?
Nope, there's one at the end of June, and the other 2 are in
I think
July.
we have a video, if we can bring it up here, of the camp. Here it is.
Yes. I have heard positives of pretty much anyone that's gone. They say the first day they miss home, by the second they could care less. They're having a good time. The staff is great. I've met many of them.
Do people have to arrange their own transportation? Oh, it's stay over.
Yes, it's sleepover. So they go on a Monday and they're home on a Friday.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a full week, 3 meals a day, activities. as you can see, swimming. There's a lake. There's a boat.
So what's sort of the sign-up period for that?
The sign-up period, it's open now, and it would be on go to Camp Wonderland Salvation Army, and there would be the application link, and it would take you to it. Yes, it is all online. If you have questions, though, my caseworker or myself can help you. You can come in if you don't have a computer available. We can do the paperwork as well. The biggest things is making sure we have a current physical with all on file for camp. They do need that. But yeah, so the kids, I actually had one camper who had gone there for 4 or 5 years, and she actually was a staff member the last 2 years.
That's
she worked
great.
in the dining room. So yeah, so she goes on now. All of her sisters now go to camp. So this will be her first summer. I think she said in 7 years she won't be going.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So it's you get families that start going.
And you have 23 slots, you said?
Yes, 23.
So do they fill up or?
They don't always. I usually have extra that we can take a few extra kids.
And so what's the ending deadline, pretty much at the end of summer?
Pretty much, if it's getting closer to the date of camp, just call the office and I can tell you where we are with. Yeah, so you can see the staff's very involved. These are the cabins. Those were the cabins that they stay in. And I've never had to bring a kid home. I will tell you.
Oh, I still remember my daughter was at YMCA camp, and she wanted to leave in the middle of it. She came home.
Yes. Yeah, there's some.
What are you doing home?
Yes, I've had to pick up my own children, I should say.
So it's Camp Wonderland, run by the Salvation Army. It's in Sharon, Mass. That's great. And then, let's see, we've got a couple other programs here just to wrap up on the list of local stuff here. The one of the big ones is the Thanksgiving gift cards that you
Yes, at Thanksgiving we do, we used to do turkeys and Thanksgiving baskets. We have learned that storing over 100 turkeys and keeping them frozen is not as possible as we'd like to think. So we've gone to gift cards. It gives people the opportunity also to purchase what they're going to eat, their meal. And we do a basket then of the dry goods. So they have a meal for Thanksgiving. Last year we did over 140 families. Wow. And they come in, it's kind of a drive-through thing. They come in, drive through. We have Talent Burst, I believe was the company, and they help volunteer and they set up our toy shop upstairs, but also half of them give out our Thanksgiving baskets and for those who have signed up. That sign-ups in advance, and they usually start in October.
It starts around the 1st of October?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's when people start calling
the
office.
And we'll put up a phone number here in a number of places here. And that's where you call. It's not an online thing.
No, that one is in person. Come in, bring your ID, see us, say hello. We won't keep you long.
And then, of course, the other holiday thing is the Christmas. The Christmas giving.
Yes. Christmas is big. This year we had over 400 children that had a need for Christmas. Parents also come in and do an application for that. We do ask them to bring their child's ID, some kind of verification. And those donations come in from companies such as Carrier. Natick Mall has a angel tree, which some of you may have seen with the little tags. And the Cheesecake Factory staff does donations as well. And other areas in our community.
Oh, so you can sign up for that?
They adopt a child, yes. It's called Adopt a Child.
Okay, and so you have to find one of these trees somewhere.
Yes, or you can call the office. We do have some individual families that call the office, and I'll say to them, what do you want, boy, girl, how old, what age? And we can match you pretty much to what the need is that you have.
And this last year at Christmas, even to help find the place, we got one of the Framingham soldiers now.
Yes, we did. We are able to, then that kind of puts us on the map, so I say.
Yeah.
You can't miss it driving down, and right behind it is a Salvation Army sign, so.
Right.
I think we're the only soldier right in that area.
Yeah, that goes up right around Thanksgiving and stays up till the end of the new year.
So always look for the soldier if you're not sure where to go.
Yeah, that's great. So, what are a couple of, you've been talking about serving people, you have 1 or 2 success stories you might just want to use as examples?
Yes. We had one family that dad and mom were both working with 4 children. Mom had lost her job, so while she was looking, she was able to come into the food pantry. Once she found her job, she thanked us tremendously and just was that we were able to keep them moving and going forward through her unemployment because they were not sure what all they were going to do. And the other one is a senior citizen who was on a very tight budget, and she needed bills paid, but so she would come in and get the food and be able to eat and make sure her bills were staying current as well. She really appreciated us for providing that for her so she could stay current on everything else.
Well, you've had moving from the downtown to where we are has created some challenges, I guess. And
Yes.
I think there's I know myself. When I talk to people about the Salvation Army, people still think, oh, that's that downtown program, and it's very different right now.
Yes, it is. I was not here for downtown.
Yeah.
I came into Framingham 2.5 years ago, but my understanding is that people didn't realize we had moved down further. We had not moved out of town, but we've actually moved just down a little bit further. We're still on the bus line, more in a community atmosphere.
The entrance is in the back of the building.
Yes, you come in, but if you have a cart of food, you can wheel it right down to your car.
There's a big parking lot that she's walking off of right there.
So, and we wheel your food right down, and you come in, and you don't have to hang around for long. We try to give you, what you need so you can move on and make your day.
And there's no longer the clothing drop-off.
No, we are not a clothing drop-off anymore.
That's now Savers.
Yes, that's what happens. I have to say Savers. Yeah, when we moved, we lost that as well. There was a thrift store, I believe, in the back of it, and that closed.
So one of the challenges is getting more people involved, starting with youth, right? You said you had some new ideas that you were in the thinking process.
We're hoping to, I have a new caseworker coming on board, and we're hoping to do some, open the building for like some pizza nights for teens. We have a small game room upstairs and some different areas for activities.
So you need a volunteer maybe to kind of help coordinate that.
If we did that, we would need volunteers in the building because you have to have so many.
Speaking of volunteers, I mentioned that being a neighbor, I got myself involved by being a member of the advisory committee, which currently has, I believe, 4 or 5 members, and we're looking to get 2 or 3 new members.
Yes.
So if anybody, this is not a total heavy lifting job. It's a great cause, and if you'd like to be involved on the as an advisory committee, we have one meeting a month so like an hour meeting on Zoom, and we get a good update as to what's going on and offer some suggestions, and then all of us try and find ways that we can help with some of these other things as needed. But if you're out there in TV land and you're watching this and you'd like to get involved in some way, give Major Kim a call at the Salvation Army. The number is on the bottom of the screen here. And you also have, what are some of the other ideas that we're looking for challenges? We got about 5 minutes left here.
There is at Christmas. It's hard to find people who want to stand kettles for long periods of time.
The kettles. Everybody knows about the kettles.
The red kettles.
It was one of the more, I've done it now the last 2 years.
Yes.
And I was at Market Basket, and I'm amazed at the number of people that walk by and say, oh, I'll get you on the way out when I get some change. And, oh, you guys do such great work. And, and people drop $1 in or $5 or whatever. And it adds up.
Yeah.
And how many locations do you have for the kettles?
We have 8, and this year we had two always stood. I have two workers who are excellent. We have had as you can see, teenage band members participate. We've had church members participate, but we're always looking for volunteers, groups that are willing to take a couple hours and man the kettles. Even 2 hours makes a difference at the end of the day in the final in the deposits. But any groups, families, anyone who wants to come out.
And I think somehow or other we skip by your Sunday services, religious services that we have. You have a lovely chapel, and while the religious part of this isn't the main focus of what you're doing in helping the community, it is part of the underlying nature of the Salvation Army. And
we are a church as well, and so we preach the gospel, share the good news of Jesus Christ.
But it's very ecumenical.
And yes, it is ecumenical, and it's Sundays at 11, and just very open and geared to anyone. Yeah.
And so other ways people can volunteer and be involved. You mentioned giving
food drives.
supplies.
Yeah, backpack supplies, food drives. If you ever want to, some offices want to do a food drive. You could do a pack the pantry. It's always an idea where your company just donates, and we've had some do that, or they've dropped off.
Yeah, you've had a lot. You've had a number of businesses that kind of adopt this as their charity even.
Yeah, especially around Christmas and Thanksgiving. But we are there all year. I think some people think of us as the thrift store or the Red Kettle, but we are actually there all year, and we're serving the community all year, whether it be through the pantry, through just coming in and just needing to know referrals, or through church. But
well, if you start adding up the numbers, $300 a month in the food program, 25 kids at camp or all families, the number of Thanksgiving donations, the gift cards that you give out, the number of Christmas gifts, the list, it doesn't take long before you're up into 4-digit numbers.
Not at all.
And
and the 400 children, I will say that it's not just one present. It's usually three toys and an outfit. We try to make sure they also get an outfit for Christmas, or a coat. So
one of the more creative things that happened a few years ago, I remember, what was it? Macy's gave you a whole bunch of
yes, we did
prom
the prom
gowns, and you had a whole collection of. You probably were 100 of them, weren't there?
Yeah, we did the prom dresses with the high school.
Yeah.
Around prom time.
That was a sweet program. So if anybody's got a creative idea,
yes,
business does, of some way that you can look for an organization to help coordinate some way you want to support the community, the Salvation Army is a great flexible opportunity. So.
Yes, we welcome anyone that wants to work with us.
Well, our 28 minutes here is rapidly winding down. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or a final thought?
I don't think so. We appreciate what you do for the Salvation Army, what the board does, and anyone that just wants to even see the new building can stop in at any time during the day, and we'll gladly show them what's
Yeah, you have a very small
happening.
staff. I mean,
Yes.
This isn't an army. This is a small,
small command.
Small command center. You have
Yes.
yourself. You have a caseworker. You have a facilities helper.
Yes.
And other volunteers. We have a guy who helps with the youth program.
But anyone who wants to ever see what we do there and the difference, especially if you had seen downtown and you want to see the difference, we're welcome you at any. Just stop in or give us give me a call, and I'll meet you.
Well, thank you, Major Kim, for coming and sharing the Salvation Army story here. As I said, this my fan show is typically sports, books, but I'm also a fan of community, and the Salvation Army, much like Hoops and Homework, or the Amazing Things Arts Center, or the Framingham Senior Centers, or the History Center, some of the other organizations that I strongly believe in are elements of a great community, and the Salvation Army is, to me, is right in there with all of them. And thank you for all of what you do, and thank you for what the International Salvation Army does around the world. And so, folks out there in TV land, check us out on Access Framingham TV. We're on in Framingham and a few other towns. Pick up us also on Verizon. We're on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 8:30 night and 7:30 Saturday morning. And we also put these up on YouTube and on the Access Framingham TV channel. And a number of other towns have somehow also picked this up. So check us out and get involved in your community. But more important, if you're in Framingham or Southborough, check out the Salvation Army, 350 Union Avenue, and stop and see us. Good night.